And we are live. Welcome to NBA Live Before Lock. It is Friday, April 25th. I am Josh Engleman. I'm joined by Eric Lindquist. We've got a 3-game slate ahead of us. We have no idea who's playing for Boston, but we get to do more of the playoffs. And honestly, that makes me happy. I love the playoffs. The playoffs are a fun time. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow us both on Twitter. Eric, how are you?
Doing well. Get to go out and watch the Lakers Timberwolves game with some buddies. Obviously, all Lakers fans with me and my Kevin Garnett jersey. So we're gonna go make a scene out in the world today. Probably get a little ruckus and see what happens. But obviously, I'll be paying very close attention to that one from a DFS perspective, betting perspective, and obviously as a fan of the team, excited to watch that one take place.
It's gonna be fun. We got a lot to break down. We also get to talk about this, the finale of the Jorge promo. You guys have signed up for a week of Portfolio EV trials. We're going to give out 5 MLB Sims max months for you guys today on this stream. Honestly, do you want to just start it off with one?
Let's do it. Honestly, I mean, it's the coolest promotion I can remember us running. It's cross promotion. We got Jorge, who again, shout out Jorge. The guy has been smashing in not just the MLB streets, but NBA, NFL. I've seen him everywhere over the course of the last year plus, and love the opportunity to give back, I suppose, to the community. It's just such a nice deal from him. So I'm excited to watch this take place. You put this all together, by the way, too. You're the mastermind of this. So tell the people what's occurring.
So I didn't put anything together. Laffy is largely the brainchild of all of this.
Okay.
I am simply the man that is running the wheel spin for today. So if you signed up using the promo code Jorge and got a week of Portfolio EV trial, your email address is listed on this wheel right now. We're going to spin it 5 times throughout this show. Each time we will get in touch and get you guys that month of the MLB Sims Max package. Are you ready to spin this one for the first time and find out who gets the month? Wait, are you playing music?
I am right here. Background music, straight from StreamYard. It's got to happen for this.
So, I have audio for this as well.
Oh, you do? Never mind.
There's sound effects. There should be sound effects at least. If there's not, we'll go back to the music for round 2. Here we go. First sub getting given away. You hear it? And your first winner is Goon Reaper.
Goon Reaper. That's a great email, by the way.
So Goon Reaper picks up the first MLB Sims Max sub. You get a month. Thanks to Jorge. We will remove Goon Reaper. We have 4 more to go throughout the rest of this show. But for now, we're going to get back into talking a little bit of basketball. We got a lot to break down, and we are starting it off with the team we know the least about. So do you want to just put a pin in Boston for 25 minutes and come back to it later?
Yeah, I really don't want to talk about them. I'm so pissed at them. It's unbelievable. I thought Pritchard was an egregious line today, and well, I'm probably screwed unless I get Brown and Holiday sitting more than likely. But I just didn't think Tatum was something we had to consider because I thought all the kerfuffery of doubtful to questionable was over with at this point, but guess not. Thanks, Boston.
All right, so we're going to put a pin in Boston until 6:30 when we finally get their injury report. We can, however, talk about Orlando right now. They actually look a little bit more interesting than they normally do. I think being at home is helping out a little bit here. We have 30% ownership on DraftKings going to Paolo Banchero and Wendell Carter Jr. We have 20 to KCP and Franz Wagner. And then we have 10 for Anthony Black. I think all of this looks pretty reasonable. I don't have a ton of dudes that I want to get from Orlando. The 3 that I think look the best are the 3 that rank the highest in Banchero, Carter, and Franz Wagner. I think Anthony Black and KCP are both completely reasonable value options to get to, but there's not much else here. Break it down for me. What do you see for Orlando?
Yeah, starting with Wendell Carter Jr., 4,800 for him, 28 and 33 minutes in this series, 16 points. We're not expecting him to like eat up usage by any means, but 3 for 3 from three is at least nice to see that you can run into that type of stuff. He's got to get like closer to double numbers. You had 4 and 13 and then 16 and 8. If he puts a double together with either of those, I do think it sends his ownership through the moon. He's probably the easiest guy to get to by an absolute landslide on this slate from the Orlando side. Next up is Paolo Banchero, where he's just kind of been the spend up du jour on a lot of different slates. I don't know if that's the case today, considering you've got the Lakers coming up in the late night window. We got Giannis at home. You got Dame now. We kind of have an idea of where those minutes are, and they are way higher than any of us probably anticipated for that first game, 37, 38 minutes. Like knowing that that's on the table for him as well. I do think Paolo Banchero, while being fine in the positionality, is really nice. Not necessarily somebody that I'm going to be like jamming currently right at the field. 30% of him, 33% optimal in our boom bust tool. After that is where it starts to get a little interesting because Franz Wagner really haven't played him at all this postseason. And, you know, obviously Paolo Banchero's taken over the usage majority share at times, but small forward. We'll see what happens here at the Boston side. If all of the Boston pieces end up in, Franz Wagner is going to look better at 8K, but it just comes down to what happens with Tatum and Brown. And, you know, if we don't have either one of them to get without the other one, it's probably going to make Franz Wagner show up more in my lineups. Right now, I'm underneath the field on him as well. It's just going to be a push and pull effect based on that news.
Yeah, the impact of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is going to have a large effect on Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero from a trickle down because you've got Jason Tatum at 9,600, you've got Paolo at 92. You've got Jaylen Brown at 8,100. You've got Franz at 8K. These guys are just naturally linked up together. Yeah. So we'll see this ownership move a bit once we finally get that Boston news. The piece that I like the most here is $4,800 Wendell Carter Jr.
Yes, by far.
He looks incredible today. I feel like I never get this dude right, but I'm expecting to have a ton because when it breaks correctly, like it did in game 2, he's going to play 33 minutes or potentially more. Now, it doesn't break correctly all that frequently, unfortunately, but he's a 0.85 fantasy point per minute guy, 33% optimal, 29% owned. And I think just a really nice value on a day where center's a little weirder than it normally is.
Yeah, 7 minutes for Jonathan Isaac at the 5, 8 minutes for Goga Batadze, who got dusted off there after basically being a DNP, played like 1 minute in game 1. I think you're just getting 30 minutes. Like I have them for 30 minutes. That was kind of the flat number that I went to. However, they break it down between Goga and Jonathan Isaac. I don't really care about as long as they split that time. If one of them were to absorb all of it, which maybe we see a flip towards Goga just being a true backup center in a spot like this. Like maybe that's the case, but I doubt it. Like Jonathan Isaac shouldn't be a DNP or anything like that. So I'm just hoping that ends up being a split, but that just leaves you with Wendell Carter, who looks awesome. He's sub 5K. He played 33 minutes. There's no reason you wouldn't think that he's going to be playing 28 plus no matter what. Even if he gets in foul trouble, there's ways for him to still salvage, and he's just way too cheap. I'm surprised his ownership isn't higher. Are you?
A little bit, yeah. Just because I think the value works really, really well here. Obviously, like the matchup isn't fun or anything like that, but I mean, when it comes to centers, we've got Miles Turner, we've got Gobert, who doesn't look very good. Then you get some of those like power forward type dudes, your Nas Reeds and your Portises. But like Brook Lopez, his minutes have disappeared so far. You know, Giannis can be a center, but you're probably not using him there all that frequently. We don't have Jokic on this slate. The Lakers don't have a center that's rosterable. And so like, I'm not surprised that Wendell Carter Jr. becomes that guy. He kind of like wins by default here.
I agree 100%. I was responding to something there from Nolan.
You're good.
I'm keeping track of the email number. Yeah, I'm keeping track of the emails as we go along.
You're good. You're good.
Yep, making sure that I had that covered so that we can give have the giveaways go properly. That's a part of this show today. It's a very important part of the show.
It is.
Because Jorge is the man. So want to make sure that we have that prioritized. But yeah, I'm gonna keep track of the emails as it goes along. I already wrote it down from the last one.
I've got 20% of Anthony Black and 20% of KCP. One's a point guard, one's a shooting guard. They're both 3,800. Neither one of them are particularly good per minute guys. Anthony Black much better than KCP, but I think they both work as value. Anthony Black can fall into extra minutes when it's working out for him, when they don't want to go to other guys. KCP's just out there no matter what. I think they're fine in that 15 to 20% range.
Yeah, I really don't want to play Corey Joseph again. I know he ended up running into a hot shooting spot. It's basically just getting to the Anthony Black piece or not. He's 3,800, better fantasy producer, played 23 minutes last time out. I'm surprised that he's not starting again because I think he's probably better come playoff time here for Orlando when you're trying to keep pace with a Boston team. But they just want to keep rolling out Corey Joseph for 20 plus minutes a night. So I guess just kind of mutes my interest there to some extent. But if I have to play one of the two, I'm definitely going to Anthony Black. Although I've got 40 lineups, I've currently only got 10% of him.
Okay. I don't have much else to say here for Orlando. If we look at them from the FanDuel side, it's basically the same story. Wendell Carter Jr., very popular. Franz more popular than Paolo, I think because of the price difference. KCP and Anthony Black both soaking up 15 to 20% ownership as value. Nobody else getting any love. So that's just kind of what we have for Orlando today.
Yeah, 4K though for Anthony Black on FanDuel with point guard, shooting guard. At least you're able to move him around a little bit. My big issue on DK is 3,400 or 3,800 point guard only, 3 spots. Having point guard, shooting guard is actually pretty decent over on FanDuel for him at 4K. Obviously, different salary floor at 3,500. There's just, I think, more utility to him to some extent. If I were playing FanDuel today, I build out some lineups before the show. He was showing up a lot in the Sims. So Anthony Black, definitely somebody that I think is a little bit more pertinent for that slate. But there's just a slew of those 4K guys that look identical. Anthony Black, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dorian Finney-Smith. You can play them across multiple positions. You're going to mix and match a lot of them in a lot of lineups. Those 3, Gary Trent, I think, is kind of interesting at 4,100 for FanDuel as well. So the FanDuel slate, Anthony Black, definitely more of a priority than DK for me.
Okay. I got to open up my office door quickly. My wife just got home with the pup.
Oh.
I had the old man in the office with me. And what's going on?
Hello. I love dogs.
All right. We've made our way through Orlando, which means it's time to run the wheel again. Let's get another one of these going, shall we? Another month of MLB Sims Max. Here we go. The wheel is loaded. The wheel is on the screen. And here we go. Uno, 14. Come on down. You have won the second month of MLB Sims Max. Thanks to Jorge. Boom.
Bang orang.
We are having some fun here today. Let's talk Indiana Pacers. Let's talk Milwaukee Bucks. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Pacers 5.5-point dogs in Milwaukee. 230 total on this one. This is 30 points higher than Boston, Orlando. 22 points higher than Lakers and Minnesota. But very balanced ownership coming into Indy. 30% to Aaron Nesmith. 25 to Halliburton and McConnell. 20 to Nembhard and Siakam. Call it 10 for Turner, Mathurin, and Toppin. Who stands out the most to you for Indy?
It's definitely Nesmith right now, but obviously if you end up with all 3 pieces out from Boston, that changes. A lot will change with this positionality, but excuse me. I just kind of look at Nesmith, 4,600 shooting guard, small forward. You just play him. You just play him in a lot of stuff. I'm playing him in single entry today. Have a couple of pieces coming up later that we'll talk about that I think are at least kind of more of your viable pivots, and we still are waiting on the Boston news. But for right now, find it very difficult for me not to get on Aaron Nesmith and play a little bit of him there. I like Pascal Siakam again today, and it's weird to me to see 18% ownership coming in on him. I brought it up last time. I thought power forward looked awesome on the slate that everybody was there. It does again today. I think power forward with Giannis and Banchero and Siakam. I really do think Siakam 7,300 is just underrepresented yet again. 33, 34 minutes, 15, 16 shot attempts. You're not really expecting any of the assists playing alongside Halliburton, but 24 and 10 looks pretty darn good to me. And Pascal Siakam just kind of keeps producing there. I think he's a very viable pivot off of some more popular pieces, including Banchero from the previous game, where it's same positionality, power forward only. I really like Siakam more than the field.
I'm dead neutral to him right now. He had a great game 2. If he does that again, he's in the winning lineup for sure. I never get him right. He's always a guy that, like, when I get a stand on Siakam, he just has that steady 25-5 game, and he's just like a complete guy. Yeah. I'm really just indifferent to Indy. I like the Milwaukee side a lot, at least mentally. I think Milwaukee wins this game. So for right now, I am about neutral or a little light to Halliburton, neutral to Nembhard, neutral to Nesmith, neutral to Siakam, Turner, McConnell. What's happening? I'm pulling it up now. Here we go. So we've got Jaylen Brown available, Drew Holiday out, Jason Tatum available. So one more time. Jason Tatum is in, Jaylen Brown is in, Drew Holiday is out. Tatum in, Brown in, Holiday out. Kid catastrophe. You wrote that perfectly. Put that on the screen. So we got the Boston news.
Yeah. It's bad for Peyton Pritchard. It's bad.
He did not look good to me on DraftKings. He looked very good on FanDuel.
Yeah, it's betting, and it looks bad. Awesome. Thank you so much, Boston. Really appreciate you guys.
Well, there we go. So yeah, for the rest of Indy, I'm just neutral. I'm neutral to McConnell. I don't have much of the bench dudes. I got a little bit more of Turner, and I think that's a lot to do with like the Wendell Carter Jr. situation. Okay. I'm just getting to like the real 30-minute centers and not to like the I'm gonna hope that I get this center right guys today.
Yeah, and Porzingis is going to look way worse.
Team to me.
Correct. Yeah, and Porzingis is going to look way worse playing alongside Tatum and Brown now. Like, I didn't have Tatum in all day. Nobody did. And now, well, Tatum's in. So it's definitely going to hurt some of the usage, you would think. I'm running some stuff in the background. Having Drew Holiday off the floor, really the only one that we ended up out here. And, yeah, Porzingis is going to probably come down for me a little bit, I would suspect. But overall, I'm with you. I think Wendell Carter Jr. definitely my priority of the two, but Miles Turner doesn't exactly look terrible by any means. 6,400 for him. I'm surprised. Again, Brook Lopez, just no place in the last game. Part of that was Bobby Portis got out of the gate really hot. And if Brook Lopez isn't knocking down threes, I guess just won't be out on the floor right from the get-go. That's kind of weird to me. 16 minutes last time out, 4,700. Yeah, Miles Turner's just been the better play by a landslide. So yeah, you're double the field. I see that now. There you go.
Yeah, 25% of Miles Turner right now. So big stand Miles Turner, big stand Wendell Carter Jr. Pacers side from a FanDuel perspective, Aaron Nesmith looks even better. Ranks 4th, 40% optimal, 40% owned. But it's balanced again after that. Halliburton's your next guy up at 25% ownership. And then Nembhard, Turner, Mathurin, Obi Toppin, and TJ McConnell are all around 15%. Your least owned pacer on FanDuel, Pascal Siakam, 8,100, power forward only.
Yeah, and he's the one I like the most relative to ownership as a result. So I
get that.
It's just that. I mean, we're talking about pretty slim differences when you look at some of these players that, again, we don't have like your 7X, 8X guys that you had in the regular season. So like the differences here, I just like playing the ownership game a little bit with Pascal Siakam there. I think that's just somebody that I'm happy to be. It's not that hard to be double the field, triple the field, and find ways of getting, or being chalkier elsewhere. So I think that's kind of my path for it. I don't mind it being Turner, but yeah, FanDuel especially now at that tag, he looks really, really good to me.
All right. Anything else you want to add here for the Pacers?
Not really. I mean, is Obi Toppin somebody that could ever walk into more minutes? Because it feels like it's just going to be injury. It's got to be blowout. He got up to 21 minutes last game, but that's like such a high point. And you're not getting any kind of like, it's just that he's 3,800 and a really good fantasy producer. And you'd think, like, we've had multiple times he just plays so well in his first rotation or two. And, he just puts up Super Saiyan type results. But does that happen in the playoffs as much? Not really. But he's a fantasy point per minute guy at 3,800. that's guaranteed to see the floor. That's at least like interesting in the back of my head.
I could see Toppin grabbing extra minutes, obviously, if Turner gets in any foul trouble or injury or anything like that.
Yeah.
But same situation for Siakam. Like, that's his path, really. You need one of those 4 or 5 guys in front of him to have to play a couple of minutes less. And then I think you get a little bit more Obi Top.
Yep. 100%.
Let's talk Milwaukee, because you're either in on a couple guys for Milwaukee or you're just out. They are a very distinct team today. Let's talk about the 3 guys that you're just simply in on. Number 1, the hero from game 2, 5,100 power forward center eligible Bobby Portis, 57% owned, 57% optimal, 63% owned. He's in 73% of my lineups. Number 1 ranked guy in the Boom Bust tool. Give me all the crazy Bobby today. I don't know what else to do here. He's too cheap.
It just kind of sucks because, like, nobody was on him last game. Played tons of him. He was my night before betting specialist, even alongside Dame. I was like, I really don't care if Dame plays. Like, Bobby Portis at 10.5 points is just a ridiculous, stupid line. He burst through it in like 12 minutes. It was fantastic. But I mean, I don't know what to do other than just play him. I had a lot last game. I mean, it's just, it feels a little chasey when you start seeing 63% ownership, when you start seeing like some of these ridiculous numbers, but we've got him 60% optimal. You now have Tatum and Brown in. So, you know, what we were talking about with the Franz Wagner push and pull, small forward, well, also exists at power forward. And now without them in the picture, or sorry, with both of them kind of like neutralizing each other to some extent, Bobby Portis is just like unavoidable. Like, if you're playing 1 lineup, you're playing Bobby Portis. If you're playing 10 lineups, you're probably playing 7, 8 Bobby Portis. Like, that's just kind of the way that he is today. He just looks way too good. He's the best piece of value we have.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let me hit Portis for FanDuel quickly. Portis is 6,500 there, so $1,400 more expensive. He's 16% owned. He's 15% optimal. Very different play. Still rosterable on FanDuel, but not the lock button number 1 dude like we have today. So
agreed.
Want to get that out there for your FanDuels.
Yeah, I had ran stuff before the show. It didn't have Tatum in it, so it's almost irrelevant. Like, I don't want to cite it for anything. I think it looks appropriate just on a glance. I'll run a sim here on FanDuel once we get all the updates and be ready to rock. I can't imagine that I'd want to get to like tons of them over there. This is just like the textbook. Like, if you're playing on FanDuel, go ahead and get away from Bobby Portis a little bit. And then if you're playing DK, you're just playing a ton of Bobby Portis, and it kind of like not hedges yourself, but it truly is just like further proof that, you know, different salaries, different constructions, like it's a nice way of like lowering your variance on Bobby Portis.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, power forward center eligible, 11,500 as of right now. Pretty clearly the highest projected guy on the slate by about 6 points over Luka. 46% owned, 41% optimal, and 42% of my lineups. I will happily take whatever I can get of Giannis. I think the Bucks win this game, and I think they do it on the back of a monster out of Giannis.
That would be awesome. Giannis is awesome. He was awesome last slate. He's awesome yet again today. 11.5 is getting up there. It's getting up there, but like 44 minutes in the range of outcomes, like you're down 0-2. Played 40 last time out. Again, I don't think he'll miss out on a rest rotation in the first half, but second half, you might see 24 minutes. And that is really hard with Giannis being a 1.65 producer against Indy in an up-tempo spot to not at home have a lot of Giannis. So I've currently got 40% of him. A lot's going to change here, but once again, with Tatum and Brown in there now, I'm assuming that I'm just going to get less Brown than I had before this show. And Giannis is going to jump up the board, be in probably 50% of my lineups or more.
Alrighty. Now let's get to the third guy, Damian Lillard.
Love.
He was just healthy, I guess, in the first game. Not limited in any way. And now he's 7,800 here today. What a broken price point. 7,800 point guard only, 27% optimal, 27% owned, ranks 8th in 39% of my lineups. Give me Dame. I'd like more, honestly. He's just okay, I guess.
I have 80%, so he's my highest stand on the entire slate by a landslide. I don't get why people aren't just jamming him. Like, what am I missing? He played 37 minutes. This is where it's like a reminder that maybe we're getting more casual money come playoff time. Maybe we're getting more recency bias, just because in the box score, it says something underneath 30 fantasy points, doesn't mean that he shouldn't be crazy popular today. He should be way more popular. He's 7,800. He just played 37 minutes. They're at home in Milwaukee. He was healthy. Yeah, it didn't go particularly well. He had some fouls. It didn't really affect him by any means, but like 14, 3 and 7, like there's dust to wrap off. He hadn't played a game in over a month. Like, I just think Dame is somebody that you have to project for way more than 35. Like, we've got him at 40 and change, 40.9 fantasy points. Like, come on now. Like, Dame is the guy. He averaged 44.5 fantasy points per game over the regular season. 44 and change. He is going up against Indy and Tyrese Halliburton. What am I missing? Like, he's by far the guy that when I looked at pricing this morning, I'm like, oh, I hope I get to lots of Dame. And 80% of lineups is a lot of Dame.
I don't hate it. I just he's just not the correct price. We're not even in the ballpark of the correct price for him right now if he's able to play the minutes that he played in that first game. So I got a bunch of Dame. I'm with the field on Giannis. I'm over the field on Portis. The only other guy to me that I wouldn't mind having is Gary Trent. He seems to be the guy that's picking up the extra playing time. Shooting guard, small forward eligible, 3,800. Not a good per minute guy, but I think completely reasonable value. I feel better about rostering Trent than Kuzma because I just hate Kuzma.
Yeah, Kuzma, my lord. But yeah, shooting on the floor, Gary Trent didn't shoot well last game. He played 30 minutes still. Like, he played 27, 30 minutes. So, like, the first 2 games of the series, he just kind of fits into this series for what Milwaukee needs, and that's just a little bit of floor spacing. And Kyle Kuzma, 31 minutes for him was a little surprising for me, but at the same time, like, I get it. Like, the price tag, 3,800 for him, playing alongside Dame and Giannis. Like, you want Gary Trent probably out on the floor, just thinking through the rotation, thinking about what you need on the floor if you're Milwaukee. And yeah, shooting guard, small forward. I didn't like him a lot in game 2. I think it was probably a mistake by me. He got to 30 minutes, which I didn't see possible, but now we know that it is, and people really aren't playing him. So I'll get to a little bit, around 15%, 20% when it's all said and done, but definitely somebody that I would not want to be without, just purely because he's a sub 4K guy who can go Super Saiyan shooting the basketball. And elimination game, I mean, closing lineup, Gary Trent in a spot where you're down 5, like, that seems pretty useful too. I know that they're 5-point favorites, but is what it is.
KPJ is simply better at basketball than
What are
Trent.
you talking about?
There's not a team in the league that thinks that.
What are we doing? Like, it's just people who look at fantasy and it's like, oh, I won money betting Kevin Porter Jr. or doing something with Kevin Porter Jr. Like, it's just, stop it. Get help.
What we should start right now is giving away the 3rd month of MLB Sims via the wheel spin. The wheel is on the screen right now. Who will get the 3rd month? Thanks to Jorge. Here we go. Jamie G0525, you are the 3rd winner of an MLB Sims Max package, courtesy Jorge.
Bang. Done.
There we go. All righty. I'm going to pull up the projections and ownership and such for Milwaukee on the FanDuel side now, so you guys can take a look. Because we talked about it for Portis, but for Dame and Giannis, they're even more interesting. 11.6 for Giannis, 70% owned on FanDuel. Dame, 7,500. He's even cheaper. 50% owned, 50% optimal. But the rest of Milwaukee continues to just not look all that good.
Yeah, there's enough there when you're playing 9 guys and AJ Green, Kevin Porter Jr., who's apparently better than Gary Trent at real life basketball. Yeah, I think this is just Giannis, Dame, Portis, pretty similar to DK to some extent, but like, I'm less inclined to take shots on Gary Trent where you don't get a boost to the old 3-pointers. Like, I mean, that's what you're looking for in a tournament winning score from Gary Trent. We got the starting lineup here. It is Horford, Porzingis. Okay. White, Brown, Tatum, Horford, Porzingis.
There we go. White, Brown, Horford, Tatum,
Yeah.
Porzingis. We got it.
All right. Oh, I hate it here. But anyway, cool. FanDuel, there's nothing really to add whatsoever.
All right, hit that like button, folks, if you haven't done it yet. Let's take a look at a super chat from our friend Jorge. Said, real and music deserve some love. Thank you, Jorge. I agree. I think it's a pretty fun concept. Music's
You
a
do
good
not
time.
have to super chat us anymore, sir. Like
No.
what you've done is enough, but also we appreciate you every single time that you do. So real and music deserve some love. I mean, it was just fantastic. And plus Josh is going with the vibes. Was that a full like chair circle? What are we doing now?
I was doing some good swirls there, brother.
Yeah. Good swirls. Love swirls.
Ryan Schnabel with the super chat. Highly recommend using the player compare tool, which is completely free. TJ McConnell and Giannis, or Dame and Siakam.
I mean, if it's got Dame on one side of it, and then my favorite tournament play Siakam, I am going that side of it by a country mile, I believe.
Yeah, I prefer the Dame side as well, just because of Dame.
Yeah. Let's
talk some LA Lakers. 3.5-point dogs in Minnesota. 208 total. Highest owned guy for the Lakers right now, Austin Reeves, 30%. Rui Hachimura, 25%. Dorian Finney-Smith and Luka at 15. LeBron at 10. Nobody else getting any sort of love. How do you feel about Austin Reeves here? Because I'm scared.
Oh, not great, Bob. 6,500. So last slate, I was just like, I just really can't do the Austin Reeves thing. I can't do it. He played 43 freaking minutes. Like, he never left the floor. 43 minutes from Austin Reeves in that spot. Went 0 for 6 from 3, 6,800, and now his price comes down to 6,500. So whatever thoughts I had going into that slate, again, I'm able to recognize when I probably got lucky. And obviously, you can't play every single person on every single slate. Like, you're going to get smatterings of them across multiple lineups, but like, I was pretty happy to make a strong stand against Austin Reeves. I don't see how you don't get to some Austin Reeves. 43 minutes, 6,500, good fantasy producer, 0.92. It's not like a zero there. If he's going to play that much, it's just so hard to envision a world where I don't have a ton of him today.
Yeah, I'm over the field. I don't like it. I dug into him on the strategy show this morning. You know, assist rate down, usage rate down since Luke has been back. The playing time's great, but he's just not as involved. Maybe that gets him involved today as a, decoy type option. I use that pretty loosely for someone with Reeves' skill set, but yeah, he's the guy I have the most of. I'm super duper nervous about it. You need every bit of those minutes, but they don't really have many alternatives. It's not like they're going to play Shake Milton.
Well, also, what do we have that, like, Andrew Nembhard is 5,100. He's played pretty darn well, but like him, Matherin, like nothing really there that I really want to get to. I'm curious to see what you end up doing with Dante DiVincenzo here, because, obviously I was on the Nickeil Alexander-Walker side of things. I got the minutes and I fucking got nothing to show for it. I ended up way over on Nickeil Alexander-Walker. It didn't make sense to me, the disparity between their ownership. And it sucks when you identify something, you get it right, and then you get 10.5 fantasy points as your result at the end of it. But that's kind of the same thing with Austin Reeves, where it's like, I probably made a mistake by not playing him last slate. I'm not going to go into this one and not go in with flat zero like I had last time out, because the minutes are just way higher than I ever could have anticipated. So there's that. Rui Hachimura is interesting, just as filler, 4,600, same kind of thing that you're getting, rostering a Neesmith, things of that nature. As far as spend ups go, because it's Luka, LeBron, and because of the game environment here, it just pales in comparison to Giannis for me. And I think Paolo Banchero at 9,200 is still going to be somebody I get to way more than LeBron when it's all said and done. I liked LeBron as like a contrarian option coming off of a loss. Thought you might see some surplus to his minutes. He got to 40. Everything was great there, but he's playing alongside Luka, and it's still, Luka Doncic. That first quarter just kind of reiterates it. 11K Luka, that's the one I'm having he's probably the one player that I'm having the most difficult time figuring out exactly what I want to do with. now that we got all the Boston news and we have all the dust settled 24 minutes before lock, I'll start to figure it out. But like, what do you plan to do with him? You're a little bit over right now, but like, I could see a world where I get to tons of him based on what Giannis's ownership is in the earlier game.
Yeah, I'm not expecting to get to a ton of Luka. The minutes are obviously great, but he doesn't project nearly as well as Giannis, and I think that's really stepping on him a little bit. He'll get a little bit of a bump when I rerun. We got a projections update at 6:36. Ownership should hit within a minute or two, and then we can start running here. But for me, he'll get a little bit of a bump because I bump later games in projection when I run my sims, and I haven't done that yet. But I just kind of prefer Giannis is really the issue for me here. And I prefer the like 9 and 8K range in Banchero and Ant, who we'll get to a little bit more. So my expectation, if Luka continues this 15 to 20 range, I assume I'm like 20 to 25.
Okay.
LeBron is like super uninteresting on the DraftKings side. 9,500, small forward, power forward eligible, 10% owned. He's 20 on FanDuel. He's got a cheaper price tag, but what do you want to do with LeBron here?
Yeah,
weird spot.
He went 200 up from last slate, and that's kind of a big deal, actually. Just like, I thought maybe we would get some kind of a price difference, but like when you have a guy like Austin Reeves, who I had 0% the last slate, and now, you know, I'm playing my 40 lineups, playing a couple in the $20 smattering, so like, you know, 44 lineups in general. I just don't find him all that necessary because there's just so much stuff that he's sharing, and I think Luka's got the much higher ceiling, and I think Austin Reeves just fits into lineups at 6,500, 43 minutes. It's not like we're projecting Reeves for 43 minutes. We've got him at 38, but like, he just has way more utility. And LeBron at 1.22. I mean, what did we have Banchero projected at? Because like, that's the thing is like the fantasy point per minute rates for each of them. It's just kind of flipped where you're getting more minutes for Banchero. You're getting a better projection for Banchero. It's so hard to click on LeBron over him, but if you're chalky elsewhere, if you're chalky across the lineup that you're hand building watching this, I get getting to LeBron is like your one piece of differentiation, but yeah, I'm probably going to get close to 0 when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Banchero as a 5.4x value. We have LeBron at 5. That's a pretty sizable gap.
I'll add this too, just to like finish off the thought. Last time I liked him so much, they were down 0-1. Now it's 1-1 going into Minnesota. And I think that actually makes a difference. Like, I don't think you have to force LeBron to go Super Saiyan. Like, if they had been down in that second half, I think you could have saw LeBron play the entire half and just kind of gone with it. Tuesday game, Friday, was the next one. But they play again now on Sunday. It's the early game, I believe, on Sunday as well. So I think it's the first game right out the gate because my parents are going to it. I just don't know what. Okay. I think they said it was early. And I think that actually matters. I think just having it be 1-1, knowing that you don't have to win this game to go like, 1-2.
Or the 3:30 game, by the way.
Yeah, okay. There you go. So it's right after the next Pistons game. Still earlier than normal.
Yeah.
It's not like the full 2 days of rest that you're getting for LeBron. I think that's something that actually matters. So while I had a ton last time at 9,300 must-win type situation, I'm happy to be, underneath even 10%, 9,500 and not must-win game by any means.
Anything else you want to touch on here for the Lakers? Do you have a Jackson Hayes narrative, a Gabe Vincent narrative, a Jared Vanderbilt narrative that you want to get to?
No, not at all. I think Dorian Finney-Smith on FanDuel 4K, he's definitely more interesting than Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt. Why they are identical tags, I don't know. Gabe Vincent can knock down some threes, do some things, but he's like the worst fantasy producer ever. You really do you have any of him 3,700 on DK? Like any? Yeah.
No.
Just irrelevant. So I think they're pretty easy to talk about.
All righty. We got 2 more months to give away. Let's get one done here, and then we'll do another one after we finish off Minnesota. So hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Say hello to the wheel. Round 4, Jorge giveaway. 1 month MLB Sims Max. Smoke screen 6, 5, 8, 7. Come on down. You have just won the 4th MLB Sims Max Sub. We have one left to give away before this show ends. Probably should have saved one for playback, but whatever.
Nah.
Let's talk about your Minnesota Timberwolves.
You saw
3.5-point favorites at home. They are currently the most exposed team on the slate. They are the team that I have the most of.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 45% ownership projected to Ant. I'm matching it. We've got 25 coming into Randall, DiVincenzo, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. 20 more for McDaniels and Reed. 15 more for Conley, and basically nothing for Rudy Gobert. How do you want to handle your boy Ant? Because I think he looks great today.
Yep, looks much better, 8,500. We're going to play a lot of Minnesota. I feel very good about my exposures from the last slate because I trimmed all the Mike Conley that was popular. I went to all the Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and it just didn't work out. I mean, that's going to happen at times. I feel like I'm doing a lot of the same stuff here in this spot. You get back home. Obviously, that's a nice boost for these guys as well. Ant 40 minutes in a competitive spot last time out. Didn't particularly do anything fantastic, but you're trimming $200 now off of his salary as well. Point guard, shooting guard, 4 spots he can fit in DK. Like, he looks great. The guy that's the biggest headache for me is Jaden McDaniels. 5,300. I have 0 right now, Josh. I have 0 Jaden McDaniels. I'm nervous about this. Like, I think my big issue is that I really like Rui Hachimura, 4,600. I really like Aaron Nesmith, 4,600. That's like my small forward position right now. And I think while it makes sense to get to some Jaden McDaniels here, 5,300 is just, when you have everybody in, like, there's been so many times that we've been absent Randall, we've been absent Gobert, we've been absent whomever else. And now with everybody back in together, he's just not a good fantasy producer. He just doesn't get a lot of looks, especially playoff time here. While there's definitely a downside in terms of like the fantasy production, like we saw him, he was the main reason I think that we absolutely blew the Lakers out of the water in game 1. You'd like him to get more assertive offensively, but like, I think the game 2 side of Jaden McDaniels is the more likely outcome. And for him to go from 4,900 to 5,300 under the same circumstances outside of like the home bump is really, really difficult for me to get behind. Yeah, 0% at the moment. He is a huge cut for me.
I'm neutral. I'm fine with that. He's not a guy that I typically want to get to at this salary. Minutes are real. Rates are down. You know, he's much more of a defensive guy now. So I don't have a huge stand there. My biggest stand is actually on Julius Randle, power forward center, 7K. 53% of my lineups, 26% owned, 2xing Randle. So I'm getting a ton of Randle. These exposures for me and the ownership that's on the screen, these are all real. I have my lineups in at this point.
I don't.
Do I like this? No, of course not. It's Julius Randle. Like, he's Julius Randle. But 7K works for me. Power forward position is fine. I think he's a little under-owned based on our optimal rates. He's in our top 10. So big stand Randle, big stand Edwards. And I like Minnesota in this game, so I feel even better about that.
Look at that. Well, your lips to God's ears, please, because I need a fucking win so bad. Minnesota, man, we have so many fun pieces, and like the Randall trade, the cat thing, we just need to get this out of our, like, please God, let's keep this Randall being assertive, not necessarily playing out of the system. Like, I really like what we saw out of Randall in game 2. He was like the bright spot, and I think in other words, kind of a dud of a game. What did we score? 85 points in it. Randall was the best that I've seen him in a Minnesota uniform so far. And I'm hoping that he just continues to go at LeBron, Vanderbilt. Dorian Finney-Smith was on him for a lot too. I hope we continue to get that version of Randall, because that's a difference maker to our team.
It's the rest of these guys that are tricky. I don't have much interest in Gobert. I don't think it's the series for him. I don't have many talking points. Conley's minutes are weird. He's fine for value, but not a guy I want to stand on. DiVincenzo, minutes have been down, hasn't been playing as well. He could just make some shots early, and all of a sudden he's getting them again. Similarly, Nickeil Alexander-Walker has kind of been falling into more of those minutes. These guys are an interesting push and pull. I have twice as much DiVincenzo as Walker. I'm hoping DiVincenzo finds himself here in this home game.
Yeah, I think playing both of them makes a lot of sense. Last time I was very against the ownership disparity. Now we're getting the identical thing on both sides of it. I still am slightly towards Nickeil Alexander-Walker because of defensively what he and McDaniels can do together. I think you saw that last time out. I mean, we started making a run with Nickeil Alexander-Walker doing nothing offensively. It was purely just him being a glue guy because of how good you have that trio of LeBron, Austin Reeves, and Luka out there offensively. And you just kind of needed Nickeil Alexander-Walker out there. Dante DiVincenzo, though, I definitely think has the much higher upside between the two, where you could just see a hot shooting game. Dante DiVincenzo rides that into the sunset, and 4,400 looks like a joke for his tag. But I'm just going to kind of play them identically this time around. I don't really have a preference between the two.
Okay. And then how do you feel about Naz Reid here? He's kind of just had a weird series, 5,200 power forward center. You would think with Gobert being marginalized, Reid would be more interesting, but it doesn't feel like he is.
Power forward's so stacked. It's hard. It's hard. Like power forward, I talked about how much I like Siakam. Siakam's lower owned than Naz Reid. Like I just feel way better about the minutes there. You kind of need things to break for Naz. You just need Rudy Gobert foul trouble. You need Julius Randle foul trouble. You need something to kind of break his direction. And then you need him to go out and just go completely Hulk smash shooting it. So I don't know. I get it. He's a good fantasy producer. 0.96 you got on the screen. I've got 15%. I can't imagine that I'm going to get more or less than that. Like I'd be inclined to get less if I could just say, hey, I'm going to make a choice. I would probably want to get less Naz.
All right. Well, let's circle back and touch on Boston. Now that we have the updated information, let me refresh these starting lineups so that we can talk through it. I barely have these guys. I'm not expecting to have much of Boston, but we have all the updated information on the screen right now. Barely owned. 20% ownership to Horford, single digits to everybody else. The most I have of anybody is 7% to Al Horford. They just don't look good. It's not a good matchup. When they're at full strength like this, they're a difficult fantasy team to want to get to. So on the FanDuel side, it's a little different. Peyton Pritchard's price tag is $800 cheaper than it is on DraftKings. So he's 30% owned on FanDuel. White, Tatum, Horford, and Porzingis are all around 10 on the FanDuel side. But I don't really care that much about Boston.
I don't either. It just broke the worst way possible to want to get to them. So
yeah,
it just is what it is.
I'd argue Tatum might be like a hair under-owned from an optimal perspective, but they're also not going to like step on the gas with him. They have no incentive to go crazy.
Yeah, they're up 2-0. If it was 1-1 or something like that, again, it's kind of playing to the flow of it. Like if you had to play one in single entry, who do you play out of everybody on the screen?
Horford. It's just the easiest dude to get to.
Which sucks. Yeah, I'm just not going to look at this team at all today.
No.
Congrats to Jaylen Brown on his 60 piece.
Yeah. It'll probably be Porzingis.
Now, that would be the stone cold worst because, again, he was the guy I was planning to play a ton of, and now I have 0.
Final wheel spin. The final MLB Sims max month to give away. Thanks to Jorge. Jorge won 50K, gave away 5 MLB Sims max subs. This is the final giveaway. Let's lengthen it a little bit. Can I still do that? I don't know where to click right now, so I'm not even going to try. Here we go. DeGigs 85 is the final winner of an MLB Sims Max month. Thank you to Jorge for putting that one together for us. It was really fun to run, and shout out to him for picking up the dub. But now we've given away 5 MLB Sims Max months. But the most important thing we can do today is find out who is the Nuke of the night.
Oh, sorry.
Here we go. Nuke of the nighttime. Eric, who's your best play of the day?
It's not remotely close for me. The guy that I'm the most overweight to, the guy I think's underrepresented, it's Damian Lillard. Like, Damian Lillard played 37 minutes. I didn't in my wildest dreams. I think we had him at 30 minutes. 30 minutes is what we had him projected at. And I had him projected at, like, I didn't think 37 was remotely possible first game coming off of everything, but I guess it's possible. You're down 0-2. You absolutely need to have it. You're going to push every single minute out of your main guys you can. And obviously, they're very much incentivized to let Damian Lillard play as many minutes as he humanly possibly can. So now knowing that 37 is in the range of outcomes, he's still underrepresented, sub 30% ownership. Let me get my final run. Here it is. So he's at 25% owned. I have 84% of Damian Lillard, my nuke of the night.
Well, I do have a bit of Dame. It's not going to be Dame for me. I'm going to go with the guy that I am most over the field on. This is not a guy that I typically recommend. This is not even a guy that I typically think is good. Well, good is relative, but I did defend him quite a bit at the beginning of this season, and I'm going to defend him here today. Julius Randle.
Oh, man.
Is your nuke of the night. 25% owned in 53% of my lineups. My third most exposed player. Go Minnesota. Go Julius Randle.
Yeah. I like the late game too. Late night hammer. I should probably get to more Luka. I really have no Luka right now. I should probably fix that right now. Julius Randle, phenomenal play. I mean, 7K still. You're just clicking him. Go ahead.
We got 4 minutes. No, sorry. I'm bad at math. Holy shit. We got 6 minutes left to go until we get to lock. So hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. There's about 2,000 people here. We could certainly run that number up. Go ahead and get your questions into chat. We got plenty of time to break them down if you need them. If they're 1v1s and 2v2s, I will once again remind you, click the link that I'm pasting into chat right now. Player compare tool, DraftKings or FanDuel. You can do 1v1s and 2v2s, see projections, optimal, boom, bust, ownership, all of it. Go ahead and check it out, guys.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
That's uncomfortable for me.
Sorry, it just ripped. That guy died too. It's sad.
Who died?
It's like that little tiny guy that would show up on like Ellen and shit. He was like,
oh,
small...
I know. Yeah. I got you.
He was a nice guy. I met him one time. He was very nice.
Oh, fair enough. Joski wants to know about Corey Joseph in a FanDuel GPP. Corey, just unregistered, brother.
Yeah, don't smoke crack.
There's just better things you could do than that.
Yeah.
Yes, he'll play today. Find somebody else.
Eric heard that quote.
Jordan, why do you think they are? Who are the Browns going to take at the start of the second round? I mean, that's a great Tim Couch. No,
probably not. He'd be better than Shedeur Sanders personally, but I feel like that's piling on at this point. I think the NFL has recognized what I think most of us who watched Colorado play football recognized, and that Shedeur Sanders isn't very good.
No idea. Don't follow it. Like Shedeur Sanders because he's Deion's kid. That's it for me.
I like Deion Sanders very much. I like Travis Hunter very much. Shedeur Sanders, not my cup of tea.
All right. What else we have coming in here? Do we have anything in Discord? Scariest fade of the night.
Jaden McDaniels.
Paolo Banchero.
Ooh, look at you. How much did you end up with?
Or Al Horford. Those are my two biggest.
Okay.
I have 17% of Paolo Banchero.
All right. It's not, yeah. That's not.
Why play Paolo Banchero when you can play Julius Randle?
Yeah, that's what we want to say and log off with. That's going to go well for us.
Yeah. What could go wrong? Let's see what else we have here in chat. Would you fade Halliburton on both sites? No.
Not at all.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Tyrese Halliburton confirmed, putting up fantasy points, still 8,400. Thanks, Ryan, Josh, and Eric and Josh ignore us. Amy, yes. What did we ignore? I didn't see your question.
Who's Ryan?
Giannis or Tatum, DK? Giannis by a lot. By a landslide.
So my most expensive, 4 guys more than 50%. I'm happy about 2 of them.
Yay.
I have 73% of Bobby Portis. Cool. I have 55% of Anthony Edwards. Cool. I have 53% of Julius Randle. Less cool. And I have 51% of Austin Reeves. Less cool.
Yeah, those are all less cool things. How much did you end up with TJ McConnell? Sims Tool pushing him up in this last run. That's why I'm
29.
Asking. Okay, that's right, or like in the ballpark I am, so that's fine.
29. 2 minutes to go to get those lineups in, guys. Eric, tell the people what you've got going on.
Yeah, you can check out OddsShopper YouTube channel, doing Lindy's Links, Likes, and Locks every Sunday through Thursday night, so Monday through Friday slates. Over the weekends, you can find me in the Lindy and Friends Discord. It's Lindy5 if you guys want to sign up, just $5 to be able to come hang out for a week, try it out if it is your cup of tea, which I think it will be if you like money and you like talking about sports all the live long day, especially the MLB streets this time of the year. I will be kicking it in there, but always good to come kick it. Head over to playback.tv/Stokastic. And again, thank you to Jorge. Coolest promotion I can remember here at the site.
Oh, so much fun. Greg and I are going to be live on Playback. Link is being dropped into chat right now. Playback.tv/Stokastic. We're going to be watching the games. We're going to be talking about ownership and late swaps because Indy and Milwaukee starts at 8. So we can do some relevant late swaps heading into the second game. We'll have to swap before Lakers and Minnesota. We're going to be watching the games. You can sign up at at Playback if you want. If you want to have access to watching all of the games for the entire playoffs, you can do that by signing up through Playback. Otherwise, you could just come hang out and listen to Greg and I. But 30 seconds until lock. Get those lineups uploaded and imported, and let's get ourselves over and let's win some money, shall we? I'm ready to take this slate down. Go Minnesota. Eric, final thoughts.
Yeah, 100K would be fun. That'd make my night pretty fun. So let's do that.
There we go, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you to Jorge for the giveaway. Playback.tv/Stokastic coming up next.